how are you? And welcome along to London Coney and Arsenal's training centre. Let's go a little trip down memory lane, shall we? To 2007, when Arsenal women won the quadruple and the coveted European Cup. 15 years on, no side has ever been able to achieve such greatness. But could it be Arsenal's time once more? Let's take a look back at their campaign so far. An interesting start. They beat the current holders Lyon 5-1. Then they had that win over Zurich. But a slight stumbling block just a couple of weeks ago in Turin when they met Juventus, who snatched a point.
Sunsetting the Allianz Stadium. Juventus against Arsenal, the top two in Group C. The teams enter the arena. Juventus' Colosseum, as Joe Montemurro put it. Through for Blackstenius. Blackstenius! Closest we come to a goal. Miedema to drive it away for Arsenal and over the top for Blackstenius. And she's through. All on her own. Can she take a chance this time? No, she can't. Big save. Berenstain sent through. All on her own. Berenstain scores! And there is simply no stopping her. Towards Moigan and Miedema's there. Vivianne Miedema is back and back in the goals. It's fought for Arsenal. It's a big stop. Fabulous game. And in the end, Juventus and Arsenal could not be separated.
It was a dream start for Arsenal, who currently sit top of Group C with 7 points. But injuries have ravaged the squad since that 5-1 win over current holders Lyon in October. They beat Zurich 3-1, but just managed a point on matchday 3 against Juventus. Arsenal will go through if they beat Juventus tonight and Lyon do not win against Zurich. It's matchday 4 and spirits are high in the Arsenal camp, especially after that win over Everton in the WSL at the weekend. The match featured the return of Lioness captain and Arsenal legend Leah Williamson, making her 200th appearance for the club. The fans were also treated to an absolute cracker of a goal from WSL all-time top scorer Vivianne Miedema. Nice to see you back scoring goals.
Obviously, I think the Juve one, we struggled at that time in the game, so it was just good to get an equaliser and reset from there.
Vivianne Miedema is back and back in the goals.
It's nice to see you back from your break. Are you able to explain to us why you needed that time just to regroup?
I've obviously had COVID during the Euros. I didn't feel fit. I didn't feel physically or mentally ready to play all those games. I think in the beginning of the year, I kind of got away with it. I came back here and I was like, Jonas, I can't play all the games, I'm tired. So I had obviously spoke with him about being rested in the Lyon game, and then from there on I just felt not physically fit enough to continuously play. And we came to the conclusion that it's better for me to just take a bit of time off to reset.
Credit to her, first and foremost. I know she was working very hard physical during that time off. Everyone has their own individual situation. And while it's short term, if you give a player time away, might be not beneficial for the team because you can't use that player at that time. As a manager, you have to see, but long term, is that the right decision for the player and for the team? Then I still think it's the right thing to do.
With my name and with my expectations, people always expect the best from you. I think once you've been doing that for 8 or 9 years in a row now without having a proper break, you start feeling that. You start going into games thinking, okay, I need to do it again today, or I need to turn up again today for the team, and you probably take on too many things.
If you go in on your job every day and people are expecting you to have success, you go on and you expect Vivianne Miedema to score a goal every game, and what if she don't? Is she a failure then? People are just expecting miracles every time you step on the football field for it. I think that's where you need to understand that she's a world-class footballer. Maybe the best in the world, but nothing comes to her for free, just like with anyone else.
I think sometimes it's okay to just be it's been too much. I can't do it right now. I need to regroup and have some time for myself to then become a better player or more fresh again after. And I would always advise that to players, especially also the young ones coming through in the game right now. It doesn't always need to be 100 miles an hour and perfect. Like, just take your time and allow yourself to struggle or not feel good, and try and just take your break and come back stronger.
Eidevall's in here! Of course it's Vivianne Miedema!
Again at the Emirates, under the lights, it's becoming the new normal. Is that exciting for you?
It is. It's a little surreal that it starts to become like a routine, and it doesn't feel like it's a one-time thing. I think that's also part of the growth, both for the team and for the game and for the Champions League.
I think we've been short of players recently. I think Leah has played the Euros. Obviously, Rafa has played the Copa America as well. So again, like, it comes back to not protecting the players and having too many games. But having them back right now will help us massively. It brings us a lot more depth in the squad, and the quality they bring on the pitch, I think everyone can see that for themselves.
Juventus, the opposition. Is it nice when you see Joe, an old manager, a friendly face?
The legacy Joe has left here, and the way, like, we've obviously been winning things when he was here, like, has been really nice to just look back on when seeing him last week. Looking forward to see him again tomorrow. And he's obviously, like, not just a great coach, but also a really nice guy.
It's now almost 18 months since Joe left, and that's not because of me, I'm not saying that, but I think the players, they also develop, they grow. They're not the same players as they were 18 months ago.
Okay, just going back to Juventus, how do you see them, the opposition, this game?
They're very well organised in defence. They're hard to score against, and they have especially one of the wide forwards, Berenstein, has incredible pace on the counter-attack, but that's how it should be. When you go and play the Champions League, the opponent should be very capable, and you have to be playing your very best in order to get something out of it.
They've had results against us and Lyon so far this year, so they are a quality side, and it's not going to be an easy game, but I hope with all the fans and playing at the Emirates that we can win tomorrow.
Great to hear from the Arsenal camp in such detail there, and here to dissect every little bit of information with me now is our women's football reporter, Alex Ivaseta. Alex, wow, we got a lot of information there, didn't we? Shall we start with Vivianne Miedema? Great to see her back to her best. How important do you think that break was for her?
I think that was big. When you get a player like Viv, she's such a special player both on and off the pitch, because her personality is, she cannot have the personality that she has being the player that she is. And for her to be such an authentic and kind of a calmer kind of player, she definitely needed that mental break just to get back, re-energize everything, especially now with the injuries that Arsenal have. She has a bit more pressure on herself. She has that natural pressure of being the name that she is. But now with the injuries, there might be a bit more pressure for her to perform and get the goals.
You've got to look at how openly she spoke on players getting that break when they need it. The amount of football they're playing at the minute, we see that in the Champions League especially. And her going to a manager and expressing that, she's kind of setting that benchmark and that precedent for other players that need that support from their club.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially when these players have that pressure on themselves to have to perform, pressure from the outside, external media to have to perform. And if they're not mentally able to keep that up, it's not good for anybody. The fact now, as you said, 3 back-to-back match weeks, and I think players always need to prioritise what makes them feel best to be able to perform at their best.
We spoke to Jonas Eidevall as well about Leah Williamson, who just got her 200th appearance for Arsenal at the weekend, coming back into the side. Do you think she might start?
I don't know. It's a shaky one, because she obviously got those minutes against Everton. She's missed 8 games now, and for her to be able to come back as a starting position against the Juventus side, is it just the right amount of pressure for her to be able to kind of get that performance out? I mean, she looked great against Everton, and you can see what she brings back to the side.
Okay, thank you, Alex. It's time now to turn our attention to Juventus, a relatively newish side at 5 years old, and have had a decent start to this campaign. They had that draw against Lyon, the current holders, the win over Zurich, and of course that draw against Arsenal last time round in Turin. Tonight, they are at the Emirates, and their manager, of course, is Joe Montemurro, who was the Arsenal manager just before Jonas Eidevall. So Joe Montemurro knows the opposition well enough, considering he won the Women's Super League with them in just 2019. Welcome, Joe Montemurro. Juventus head coach, is this like coming home, coming back to the Emirates?
It is. Lots of amazing emotion here. Being in this occasion where I'm at my boyhood club, I suppose, that I support as a fan, and coaching the team that I supported also, it's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's special, and the fact that the women are representing here more and more often, the fact that you used to manage Arsenal and bringing your squad here tonight, must be quite a proud feeling seeing how the women's game is just coming on so much.
Very proud because we didn't get a lot of opportunities to play here for dozens of reasons, and it was understandable and all that. But it's great to see that now the team, or the Arsenal team, is playing here more often and getting big crowds. It's just synonymous to the brand that wants to keep the women's game growing, and it's great for the game in total, in general.
How are you preparing tonight? I mean, great result. A couple of weeks for you taking that point as well. How are you looking forward to this game tonight?
We understand where we're at. We understand, the quality that Arsenal have and playing at home and so on. So I've really just given the girls the motto to enjoy it, enjoy the occasion in this epic stadium. We just want to come out here and just be who we want to be and who we are, and hopefully it goes well for us. Everybody fit? Everybody training well? Any changes we can expect? Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got the same situations as Arsenal in terms of turnover of games, playing every three days. So obviously players are still tired from probably Saturday, Sunday's games. It's Champions League, and you're playing in these forums under these circumstances, and you're up for it. So everyone's ready to go. Can I ask you, Joe, just because we've been having this conversation, it's been the theme building up to this game, the amount of football that the women are playing at the minute. How is it you manage that if a player were to come to you and say, I'm feeling a bit tired? How do you approach that situation? The health and well-being of a footballer and a person is the most important thing. So look, we obviously look at managing their loads and look at, if it's about just having a rest and just freshening up mentally, because, it all starts from there. If they're mentally tired, then that's where the injuries come, because you're doing things against your will, if you want to use that as an expression. But it's just something we have to manage. The closer we get to, the high levels of football, and the closer we get to where we want to be in women's football, there's going to be bigger games and more important games more often. So we just have to be smarter, and we just have to make sure that we manage, first of all, the well-being and the health of each athlete. Great to hear from the Juventus camp there. Alex is back with us to go through it all. Alex, speaking to Joe Montemurro, you feel like you're his best mate, but he doesn't really give you much, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's good at his interviews. He'll give you a bit more after the match, but let the match happen first and then before that. But I think, especially Arsenal, that he knows so well and knows him so well, I think it's a slippery slope for him to give away anything beforehand. We were here before, and he stepped out of the tunnel, stepped into the pitch. He just looked around and he was like immaculate. He loves it here. He was an Arsenal supporter growing up. So I think managing Arsenal was a big kind of accomplishment for him. And now bringing Juventus to the Emirates Stadium to play against Arsenal in the Champions League, I think for him it's almost a dream scenario, and obviously something that he takes very seriously, but also has a big advantage because he knows players so well, because he knows what makes them tick, what their weaknesses are, and you can tell that the way he prepares teams. Tell me about how you expect Juventus to line up, and what kind of style are they going to adapt coming here to the Emirates? I don't expect them to change much from the last match. They had a match over the weekend, big match against Inter, which they won, which was good, but they didn't have much preparation time coming into this, so I don't think they're going to change much, and they don't need to change much, if I'm being honest. Historically, Italian football has been defensive, so they're a very good defensive block, which has been a struggle for teams like Lyon and Arsenal. But then you have Montemurro ball, which is a bit more of a creative, attacking style of play, which I think the players that he has kind of fit really well into it. Well, we see that from their front line just a couple of weeks ago as well, and that goal from Bernstein and that run, the pace. I mean, we spoke to Jonas Eidevall earlier on, and he's aware of that she can be a real threat. Yeah, no, it was, I mean, the ball through as well, that was that creative kind of attacking play that Montemurro kind of encourages players to do, and then Bernstein just got in behind her pace and her finishing. I mean, she's going up against Vivianne Miedema on the national team, so she knows how to play very good football, and she's played for a lot of big teams. So that pace in behind, especially a lot of women boys, Steph Catley, who have been outpaced before in the Champions League, and it's a threat. And Montemurro knows the team really well, so if he knows the weaknesses of defenders, then he's going to use it to his advantage. Well, ahead of the game tonight, we thought it would be fun to test some of the general knowledge of the Juventus and Arsenal players. This is our 1 Minute Masters. I think it'll make you laugh.
Baby, I like you.
Vancouver. No, you're from there. Ottawa.
Qual è la più grande città italiana per estensione?
Roma.
Chi è l'artista più ascoltato su Spotify?
Justin Bieber.
Qual è l'animale simbolo della Juventus?
La zebra. Ok. Il pinguino questo.
Is Spider-Man Marvel or DC Comics?
Marvel. I know one.
What is the smallest country in the world?
Oh, I need help.
Small
Call
country.
a friend. Bing, bing, bing. Go.
How many countries are there in the UK?
4. Is it?
What is the most consumed drink in the world?
Tea. There it is.
Let's go. Let's do this.
I'm like,
Which letter is to the left of a T on a keyboard?
S. No, no, stop.
You have to take your answer.
No.
Then, quick.
E?
No. Name one of the hosts of Strictly Come Dancing.
What's that?
What is the most consumed drink in the world?
Tequila.
Which is the largest ocean, Pacific or Atlantic?
Pacific.
Which country is Drake from?
Canada.
Who has had the most #1 singles in the UK chart?
Ever.
Yeah. He is American.
He is American. Justin Bieber.
Tequila? Really?
Said no one ever.
Oh, said absolutely no one ever. Oh, I cannot believe she said that. That was a very, very good laugh. Very fun to watch indeed. Match day 4. Alex, what else can we expect? We've got Bayern Munich against Barcelona. What do you think of that one?
I think Barcelona are going to win it again. It was a very convincing 3-0 win at Camp Nou. I think Bayern are missing very crucial players. Barcelona are just not going to let them have much of the ball and much chances, really.
What about Georgia Stanway as well? Because we can't help but sometimes focus on her.
She was quiet in Camp Nou, a lot more quiet than you kind of expected her to be, considering the player that she is and disruption that she is in the midfield. Playing at the Allianz Arena, the crowd could maybe kind of give him that little boost, and Georgia Stanway, you might see a yellow card, you never know. A little feistiness in there, that would be fun.
Chelsea also going away to Real Madrid. What do you make of this one?
I think both teams can be consistently good and consistently bad at the same time. It's just about who shows up and when. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea managed to get a win. You have a lot of Real Madrid players that can step up to the occasion, but they've not been good. They don't have a consistent rhythm right now, so I think it's Chelsea's for the taking.
Who else have we got on match day 4? Of course, Zurich away to Lyon.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Lyon can get their 100th win in the Champions League, which is a big accomplishment.
Wow.
But of course, it's going to be a crucial 3 points for Lyon. Right now, sitting in 3rd place, not in a quarter-final spot, so it needs to be a win for Lyon.
Absolutely. It's all to come up on match day 4, and don't forget, all of those games can be live and exclusive for you here on DAZN and on DAZN's YouTube channel. The stage is set. We're at the Emirates. It's Juventus coming here to face Arsenal in the Women's Champions League. It's going to be an absolute corker, and it's live and exclusive here on DAZN and on DAZN's YouTube channel. Enjoy.
These are the nights to be part of club football's greatest competition, the prize they all want.
It's a lovely touch, and the shot away is magnificent.
It's come back complete for the Bavarians.
Oh, knocks it down. De Bruyne, who gets her second of the night.
It's Payot! It's a great finish. That is top-class centre-forward play.
5 goals for Paris Saint-Germain, their first victory.
Esther, and she takes a chance.
Who doesn't miss from there.
Pina has a go and scores majestically.
And that's an audacious effort. Not many players can do that.
Bernstein scores!